Hey, bendición, what up everybody, this is Alvin Keyser back for another video. So the topic of this video is Holy Week. Sorry, I'm a little late with this video at the time of recording. But it's a topic that I wanted to touch on, and again, please forgive the glare. I gotta work on that. But anyway, so Holy Week, what is it, and how do people in the Ocha community, Espiritismo, Criollo community, how does it affect us, as believers in these traditions? So first off, what is Holy Week? For those who don't know, Holy Week is 7 days of being in remembrance of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. If you are of that belief, if you're Jewish or Muslim or Buddhist, it doesn't pertain to you. But for a person who's Catholic or Christian, Holy Week, but specifically like Catholic. What was I gonna say? So a week of remembering the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. He died on the cross, which that for us is Good Friday. I was baptized Catholic, so Good Friday is the death of Jesus Christ, and then on the third day, Sunday, he rose from the dead, conquering death. So that's Semana Santa, Holy Week. Okay, so how does that affect us? I have here my little notes. So there's two ways to look at this. I'm gonna explain one way. I explain what some lineages do. Oh, and shout out to you can see more content on this from La Regla de Ifa y Ocha, Omo Dileke, great YouTuber. I'm pretty sure I mentioned him in one of my other music videos. He was definitely in my Babalu Yen music video when he commented on it and did a review on it, basically. But he speaks about this as well. But essentially what is traditional for some houses, not all, when it comes to Ocha, is to cover your orishas in white sheets. And me being Puerto Rican and practicing the tradition of Espiritismo Criollo, Creole spiritism, taking down your boveda, everything. And I also have like little pictures so you can see for yourself what I'm talking about. I do appreciate visuals myself, so I have some visuals for you. So let me just go down. So it's covering your ochas, your orishas, if you're crowned or if you're just got your warriors. It's definitely a time where I know a lot of babalaos and orichas, just priests, will cover their orishas in white. And if you're an espiritista, you take down your boveda. And I'll show you a picture. I'll get into more depth with this. At the least, what most people do when they're in these traditions, when they're espiritistas or santero, at the least, if there's no covering, at the least, it's a time of acknowledging the sacrifice of Jesus Christ and not working, not doing no readings, not preparing any candles, not even, you don't only tutu your warriors, nothing. It's no like spiritual work. It don't matter what kind of price tag it has. You'll notice during Holy Week, no warriors being born, no one schedules a cariocha to get crowned during this week. No misas are held for this week. This week is considered holy. Why? Because it's all in remembrance. The days leading up to Friday. The days leading up to Friday, aka the days leading up to the death of Jesus Christ. A lot of espiritistas, at least Espiritismo Criollo, believe Jesus Christ to be the greatest brujo en media unidad that ever existed. You can take that as you will. But because these traditions are so connected to Catholicism, we do a lot of, there's a lot of syncretism. And so it's not so much, oh, because Ochun es la careta de cobre and no bata la Virgen de Mercedes. No, it's honoring, doing the same thing that Catholics do, which is no work. And if you want to go like super old school, the old fashioned way. Or actually, I'll get into that a little later, but you get my drift. Let's go into this in no particular order. I might do this into two parts. I don't know. Okay, so what is the historical context of covering all your orishas in white? So it represents hiding your orishas. So, you know, I don't need to go into the deep historical stuff. Everybody knows the slaves used Catholicism to hide behind so that they can preserve their faith. So it represents the covering of your orishas in white represents the hiding that the slaves had to do. Let me see. Yeah. So the controversy with that is, you know, oh, we're living in 2021. There's no need to hide. Well, for me, it's definitely something I do. I'm gonna let you guys know off the bat that everything I'm talking about is something I do. I've already covered my orishas and I've already taken down my boveda. Why? If I can choose, well, it's 2021. There's no need to hide. We're not living in 40s Cuba where you have to hide things or whatever. It's in remembrance of what the slaves did. So it's honoring a time-held tradition of the slaves and the people that had to hide their orishas. Yes, we're living in a time where there is no need to hide our faith. If you're a Santero, you can walk down the streets dressed in all white with your beads and not fear that some slave master is going to come and lynch you. But it's a way of honoring our ancestors and the slaves that did not have a choice but to hide their faith and their traditions and their beliefs. You know, so there's two ways to look at it. I don't know if Isheshe houses do it, like more Africanized houses do it, but I know a lot of Lukumi houses, maybe even Arara houses, a lot of lineages do cover their orishas. So that's number one. Let me see. Yeah, I'll break this into two parts. I don't know. I keep flip-flopping. Whatever. Number two. For me, covering my orishas. Yeah. So I'm gonna focus on. No, whatever. So number two, honoring it. It honors the traditions of my ancestors. So I cover, or more specifically, I take down my boveda. So my grandmother, well, both of them. My grandmother was Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican Dominican. Dad's Dominican, mom's Puerto Rican. So my grandmother, Ibae, was an espiritista. And she was very, very traditional. So when I say traditional, when it comes to Holy Week, the old super way of dealing with Holy Week is there is no music, there is no entertainment, there is no TV, there is no vulgarity, there is no blasphemy, there is no working anything that has to do with spirituality. It's a time of quiet contemplation, a time of quiet prayer. You do your rosary. It's a time where I'm pretty sure Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a time where you don't cook. It's a time where you don't clean. So you have to get everything done beforehand, before Friday, so that food can just be heated up. But it's a time where it's just rest, absolute rest in remembrance, in remembrance of Jesus Christ. But that whole week you'd go, no music, no TV, no playing. You're in prayer. There's no work. You try to do the least amount of work, so you prepare food ahead of time so you don't have to work. What else? Anything else? Yeah, so that's like the hardcore old-fashioned way of Holy Week. How my grandmother did it. And she was like straight like from the island, Puerto Rican. Not Americanized. Let me see, just look at my notes. So when I take down my boveda and when I cover my orishas in white, I'm also thinking about my grandmother and honoring how she honored Holy Week. So in doing the same thing as she did, I'm carrying on tradition, family tradition, personal family tradition, taking down my boveda in remembrance of her. Ultimately, the whole Santa Semana focuses on Jesus Christ. But when I did put down my boveda, I thought about my grandmother, whom I've never met. She died way before I was born, maybe like 20 years before I was born. But she's an egun. She's one of my egun. And in doing as she did when she was alive, it makes me feel like I'm a bit more connected to her. So blah, 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 blah. Let me see. So I'm gonna break this down to 2 just because I don't want these videos to be too long. So this is gonna be part 1, and I'm gonna record part 2. Okay? So peace out, bendición, and luce por eso for everybody. I'm gonna record number 2.